If Putin takes Ukraine, he won't stop there, Biden said. Putin will attack a NATO ally, he predicted, and then we'll have American troops fighting Russian troops, Biden said. We can't let Putin win, he said.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to speak to you today about an urgent responsibility the Congress has to uphold the national security needs of the United States and, quite frankly, of our partners as well. This cannot wait. Congress needs to pass supplemental funding for Ukraine before they break for the holiday resources. As simple as that. Frankly, I think it's stunning that we've gotten to this point in the first place. While Republicans in Congress are willing to give Putin the greatest gift he could hope for and abandon our global leadership, not just in Ukraine, but beyond that. We've all seen the brutality that Putin has inflicted on Ukraine, invading another country, trying to subjugate his neighbors to his iron rule, committing atrocities against Ukrainian civilians, trying to plunge them into the cold and darkness of winter by bombing their electrical grid so they don't have any heat during the winter, or electricity for that matter.
The White House warned this week that the U.S. is running out of time and money to help Ukraine repel Russia's invasion. By mid-November, the U.S. Defense Department had used $97 of $62.3 billion in supplemental funding it had received, and the State Department had used all of the $4.7 billion in military assistance funding it has been allocated, U.S. Budget Director Shalanda Young said this week.
Russian forces are committing war crimes. It's as simple as that. It's stunning. Who is prepared to walk away from holding Putin accountable for this behavior? Who among us is really prepared to do that?
A U.S. official said the United States has less than $1 billion in replenishment authority. This means that if Congress does not provide new funds to buy replacement equipment and the Pentagon runs out of funds, it can reprogram to keep corporate contracts flowing. The U.S., Ukraine, and arms makers may be forced to take other steps to backfill stocks. Border security with Mexico is a major issue weighing on the negotiations about Ukraine and Israel funding.
I just did a meeting with the G7, which was one of the issues we discussed. All the European leaders. We are prepared to stay with us, stay with Ukraine, and our European friends are as well. Who in the United States are prepared to walk away from that? I tell you, I'm not prepared to walk away, and I don't think the American people are either. If Putin takes Ukraine, he won't stop there. It's important to see the long run here. He's going to keep going. He's made that pretty clear. If Putin attacks a NATO ally, if he keeps going, and then he attacks a NATO ally, well, we've committed as a NATO member that we defend every inch of NATO territory.
House and Senate Republicans are backing renewed construction of the border wall, former President Donald Trump's signature goal, while deeming large numbers of migrants ineligible for asylum and reviving a controversial policy under which asylum seekers are told to remain in Mexico while their immigration case is heard. Biden said he was willing to make significant compromises on the border issue, but said Republicans will not get everything they want. This has to be a negotiations, he said.
Make no mistake, today's vote's going to be long remembered, and history's going to judge harshly those who turn their back on freedom's cause. We can't let Putin win. Say it again, we can't let Putin win. It's in our overwhelming national interest and international interest of all our friends. Any disruption in our ability to supply Ukraine clearly strengthens Putin's position. We've run out of money to be able to do that in terms of authorization. Extreme Republicans are playing chicken with our national security, holding Ukraine's funding hostage to their extreme partisan border policies.